Evening, members. Hello. It's 7 o'clock. So, right, before we kick off, and I'm going to follow my own advice here, and I'm going to mute my phone. There we go. Right. So, if you can all do the same, that would be lovely. So, members and officers, please mute your device to avoid feedback. And anyone remotely? Well, no, there isn't anyone. Please switch off your microphone and camera. And ideally, don't use your camera, but I don't think there is anyone, so it doesn't apply. Okay, so please note that the meeting is going to be recorded and data collected during the recording of the meeting and will be retained in accordance with the Council's data retention policy. The recording of the meeting may be added to the Council's website. Members accessing the meeting remotely should use their SBC or KCC laptop to participate virtually. If you join using the link on the website or on a mobile or tablet device, it's not possible to identify you and you're not recorded as in remote attendance. So, welcome everyone this evening to the Economy and Property Committee meeting and any visiting members. We welcome you too. Right, here we go. Staff in attendance tonight. We might have Emma joining us, Emma Wiggins. She's not dialed in yet, but she may well do. Yeah.
She's not dialing in.
Oh, she's not dialing in. Right, okay, ignore that. She's not dialing in. So instead, we have here Head of Place, Joanne Johnson, and we have Strategic Programmes and Assets Manager, Kieran Mansfield. And we've got Philippa Richardson from Democratic Services tonight. There is no fire drill, so one's not planned. If the alarm sounds, please leave via the exits. Do not use the lifts. We know, yes, we know. And we'll all be doing our training, those of us that haven't trained, for the EVAC chair. We've got apologies for absence and confirmation of substitutes. So we have the following. We have Councillor Anne Kavanagh is substituted by Councillor Mark Last. Evening. We've got Councillor Richard Palmer is substituted Peter MacDonald. Evening. We've got Hayden Braun. Councillor Hayden Braun is substituted with Angela Harrison. And we have Councillor Sarah Stephen is substituted. We've got Derek Carnell here tonight. So thank you for coming along, substitutes, and welcome. Can we please all approve the minutes of the last meeting held on the 8th of October 2025, minute numbers 383 to 392 as a correct record? Do we all agree? Agreed. Yep, thank you. Any declarations of interest? No? Great. No. Okay. Right. Tonight, it might be a short meeting. Unfortunately, the representative from Homes England that was due to come and speak to us, Neil Miller, is stuck on the M11 and the motorway is shut in both directions. So I think it's fair to say he's not likely to be able to make it tonight, which is unfortunate because I think a number of us were looking forward to that discussion and update. Now then, I think this is actually quite important. Now, Kieran had, you've spoken or exchanged messages with him whilst he's on the motorway, to see if he's available for the next meeting, which is the 19th of March, did you say? 19th of March. However, I said I'm happy to bring forward an extraordinary meeting if you want that sooner, because I think given where we are with the local plan, etc., and also the importance of this site to Swale. So members, if you want to come in and give me your comments on that. Angela. Councillor Harrison.
Sorry, Chair, I should have waited for my spokesperson.
Councillor Wise.
Thank you very much, Councillor Harrison. I was just going to say, I would appreciate that if it's at all possible that we have an extraordinary one, especially given the items that we also have come in on the 19th of March. I wouldn't want to sort of have a very busy agenda where I'm sure there's lots of member input on those items that are already due to come to that meeting. So, yeah, I would welcome an extraordinary one if at all possible. But if not, then of course, if we can accommodate it the 19th of March, that'd be great.
Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, my view is that the longer it's left before they get here and hear our dulcet persuasive tones, the more likely that a decision could well have been made beforehand.
Yes.
So I mean, we all know that we have a programme. You do this, the draft, the this, the final vote, done. Oh no, you're too late. You're too late. It's been through the process. So I'm not that au fait with how the government do theirs or these different agencies. But I think the sooner we actually see the whites of their eyes, the more profitable it would be for our borough.
Thank you very much. I agree with that sentiment of those two councillors. There's lots of nodding around the chamber. Okay. Kieran, you've got the feedback here. Now then, I'm happy to bring this as an extraordinary meeting with a single item and to bring that forward as soon as possible. So members are asked that you're sort of slightly tolerant on dates, if you can be, and we'll see what we can do. There's a nod there.
Well, in liaison with them.
Yes, of course, yeah. And they understand the importance of this one item. It is I mean, this is one of the largest development sites in Swales, so brownfield sites. So this is a critical path one, as I see it. Okay, thanks, members. Right, so strike that off your agenda for tonight. Councillor Harrison.
Would it be worth offering a bed for the night before, just to be on the safe side?
I'm not sure I've got a spare room, councillor.
Or a spare caravan, maybe. Maybe a porter cabin on site. Okay, right, thank you. Right, the other item on the agenda tonight was the item 12, creating a growth board for Sheppey. This was referred to us from the Sheppey Area Committee. Now, there was an underlying proposal that underpinned this. That has been withdrawn, and therefore tonight's item has been withdrawn from the agenda. So our agenda is looking increasingly short. So please strike off item 12 from your agenda. Right, we have the forward decisions plan. So I'm just going to bring that up. Let's have a look. Okay. Do I hand over to you for an update, please, Joanne?
Thank you very much, Chair. This looks very similar to what members have seen before in terms of the forward plan. There is one further potential item for the 19th of March committee, which would be the contract award for the security guard services at Swale House. That is likely to exceed the value at which it needs to come to committee. We're opening tenders imminently, so can confirm, but no other changes. Thank you.
Lovely. Anyone, any comments? Okay, did we cover Barton's Point? Oh, yes. So, yeah, on my update, whilst I will do that now, there was a discussion by the working group for environment and climate change committee around Barton's Point. So we will be able to bring that forward and put that on the forward calendar for March. Okay, members?
Yeah, thank
Councillor
you.
Marchington? Yep, speak. Sorry, McDonald, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I thought
I'm being completely...
I thought it was coming over my head.
No.
Yeah, there is a working group for Barton's Point, so and I'm actually on that. So
Yeah, they had
I
a
don't
discussion yesterday, I think it was. Was it yesterday, Joanne?
No, we've had one meeting. But
The task and finish group. The task and finish group. Right. Okay. Right. But we should be in a position to move forward for the March committee meeting. Right. Okay. That's good. Anything else on the forward plan? No. Good. Okay. Right. We are skipping item 8 and item 9. Let's go to item 10, All Gunpowder Works, Country Park, assignment of lease. Kieran, over to you, please.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a site located to the west of Faversham, in which Faversham Town Council have expressed an interest in potentially taking on the lease of. The site's currently leased by us from Brett's for, I think, a period of 125 years. And it's a country park. Faversham Town Council's initial interest had been in the visitor centre and the potential opportunities around that. The council having been out previously for expressions of interest for someone to operate that, which didn't produce any positive results. That interest from the Town Council expanded to the whole of the site, and through discussions, it's something that we've been kind of open book in terms of what that involves, and ultimately the report recommends that we seek to assign the lease that we currently hold with Brett's to Faversham Town Council. It supports the taking what is a heritage asset to the most local form of local government. We have not yet discussed that formally with Brett's as the landlord, but there is in the lease we do need landlord's consent, but it's not to be unreasonably withheld, and we expect, subject to ironing out any kind of issues they raise, that there shouldn't be any objections from the landlord.
Okay. Right, members, I'm going to read the recommendation and propose it, and then if I can have a seconder, and then we'll open it up for questions and debate, okay? So the recommendations tonight are: 1, to delegate to the head of place to negotiate and agree the terms of the assignment of the leasehold interest in All Gunpowder Works Country Park, as shown on the attached plans at Appendix 1, to Faversham Town Council, subject to obtaining the consent of the superior landlord, Brett Gravel Limited. And number 2, to delegate the inaction of this assignment to the head of place in consultation with the head of legal services. So I propose that. I've got a seconder. Thank you. And that is Councillor Thompson. Thanks very much. Okay, members. I can't see any name badges, that's all. So, right. Members, who wishes to come in first? Anyone want to discuss anything or ask any questions? No? Okay, right. Okay. Members, all those agree? Any abstentions? Anyone against? Okay, unanimous. That's agreed. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, right. Item 11, which is the voluntary and community sector lettings policy. Kieran, over to you. Please give us an introduction.
Thank you, Chair. So you members will recall that the draft of this policy was brought to the committee at the October meeting last year, after which we went out to consultation. In the report, it sets out the responses or the nature of the responses that we received. We received 33 responses and addresses or seeks to address the responses we received in turn, which ultimately, from the recommendation, involves no change to the policy. Within those 33 responses, a good number of them were focused on whether Swale House should be included within the CVS lettings policy or not, which it currently is not. And the kind of rationale for that is still set out in this report as it was in the 8th of October report. The 21 kind of concerns regarding the non-inclusion of Swale House were largely focused around the concerns of one of the existing tenants. So I've in terms of the recommendation, I've written it so that the policy is essentially largely unchanged from what was presented on the 8th of October, but ask members to consider the issue around Swell House.
Okay. Right, I shall read the recommendation and propose it, and then if someone would like to second it. So the recommendation is that the draft voluntary and community sector lettings policy, as at Appendix 1, is adopted, subject to the members' views about the inclusion of Swell House. So I'll propose that. I've got a seconder, Angela Harrison. Councillor Harrison has seconded. Thank you. Okay, members, who wants to come in first? Councillor Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I agree with the initial view that Swell House should be excluded from the lettings policy. So as is, I've read it, as I'm sure everybody else has read it. It isn't normally the case, but you can have 15 views of the same if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Members, will have a similar view, or anyone think anything different? Councillor Wise.
Yeah, I think it's one that I know that we've spoken about at previous stages with discussions around this item, and I know where at all possible it would be preferable to have a busy Swell House rather than any vacant space whatsoever. But when you read the report at 2.11, there's a whole list of things that we would have to try and sort through with no real proven appetite that we would actually do anything to attract even more people to the building, even with that. And so we're not really in a financial position to undertake the sort of expenditure and liabilities that would be required to really make it a success. And so I'd rather not go down another route where we require more officer time being spent on something that we aren't sure will really have the result that we might expect it to as well. So for that reason, I'm in supportive of what Councillor Harrison has said, that we leave that exclusion as it is. If only there was some other way of us doing something with one of the floors that was a lot easier to manage. But our previous questioning of officers and this report sort of shows that that's unfortunately not possible.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Pollard?
In 2.11, it says about it's a minimum of £10 per square foot. Is that much of a discount compared to what it normally is?
Sorry, I didn't turn on. Sorry, apologies. The starting point in terms of the rent ask is £20 a square foot, which is broadly split between £10 a square foot as rental, £10, which is kind of reflexive of the kind of local market conditions for what agents would call, awful phrase, second-hand office space, and the second part is £10, which would essentially cover the contribution to the utilities, because we can't give it away quite, and we can't separately meter it because of the way the building's configured. It's inclusive of business rates. So if you were out in the marketplace renting an office at £10 a square foot, unless it was subject to small business rate relief, and let's put that to one side for a minute, but if it wasn't subject to small business rate relief, you'd be paying another £5 a square foot, roughly, on top of that £10 a square foot. So I think £10 a square foot is a relatively conservative estimate of what and I don't want to call it service charge because that comes with all sorts of obligations as a landlord, but that service charge element.
And can I just clarify that? Oh my God, it's gone out of my head. No, give me a second. Come back.
That's all right.
In a minute.
Okay.
She's gone.
Oh, that's all right. We'll come back to you. Is there any other members who've got a view? Are we all in agreement with the members that have just spoken on? Come back, Councillor Pollard.
The criteria that they need to meet, that would 50% the discount. That's the 90%, the equivalent.
So if they were to get maximum discount, they would get. If your starting point is the £20 a square foot,
Yeah.
the most they could achieve would be the 90% discount on the £10 element that's rent.
Thank you.
So they would effectively still end up paying £11 a square foot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. Are we all happy to vote on that, given that discussion? Okay. All members in agreement? Okay. I think that is unanimous. There we go. Lovely. Thank you very much. And I think that's it for tonight. So that is short and sweet. And that's 7:18. We close our meeting. Thank you, members.
Sorry, it could have been quicker, but my brain was.
That's all right. I have those moments.